Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a review and swatches on the Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette. I have also included a quick little eye tutorial for this eye look and also just a couple of tips that have worked for me on how to use this palette, because I know it is very bold and intimidating sometimes, and you look at this and you're just like, am I supposed to do a rainbow on my eye? I'm gonna just give you a couple tips on how to get more use out of this without looking like a My Little Pony all the time. If you're interested in seeing that, just please keep on watching. So this palette is one of my babies now. Like, I seriously feel I love it so much. Let's begin talking about the packaging. So it's very big. It's like the size of my face, and it's very sturdy too. Like, it's a thick plastic, and this is like in gems, so it's super beautiful. You open it and it has a gigantic mirror, and it's also really good because the way it is made, like the angle is like this, so you put it on your table. Given that the angle is like this, you're able to see your face on the mirror even if the palette is on the table, so that's really cool. Now this palette has 21 shades. As you can see here, you will see them all in the swatches either before or after this little review I'm giving. I think it is so genius how they organize the palette, because they have the darker shades up top, the more bright shades in the middle, and then the more pale, more sheer shades at the bottom. And I think that is so genius for someone that likes color, likes to experiment, but is maybe a beginner. So you have a good idea of how to do that nice gradient on your eye, what shades to put on your lid, and so on. Like, it's just a little bit easier to get a hang of blending nicely. So as you can see, they're color coordinated. The finish. Okay, most of the shades, they're all either shimmery or frosty or glittery or something like that, but I honestly don't care. I'm not using this for the mattes. Like, when I want a matte shade to go on my crease or something, I'll just go into one of my other palettes for a matte brown and then play with all these colors. But I will say some of the shades are, when they go on the eye and you blend them out, they pretty much look matte. I don't really have a problem with that. The pigmentation, some of them are super intense and very nice. Others are more on the medium side, and then others are very sheer. You will see that on the swatches. But I feel that they made some of these shades sheer on purpose so you can layer them and create your own combinations. For example, the shade Ice is a silver. My hand is so bony it's hard to like swatch. It's a silver, but it's very sheer. You can see it here. It only like hits the light when you move it. I find this is a shade for you to top off your eyeshadow. So let's say you have your eyeshadow complete, but you want that little extra something and you don't want to go in and play with glitter and glue and all that. You put a little bit of this, lightly tap it, and then it gives it that little extra something without changing the color. So I think that's super cool. If they did that for that reason, I think it's genius. And if not, well, I'm making my own reasons for why this palette is cool. The white shade in this palette, Bump, is matte. It's a white matte, and I think this is great for you to put as a base on your eyelids and then go in with color if you want to make the colors pop even more. So those were just some general things that I see about the palette. Now I'm going to tell you my opinion. I think this palette is gorgeous. It's amazing. I'm just so happy I got it because I love color. I mean, I'm not gonna do a rainbow on my eyes every single day, but I like to play with color. This is something I like to do when I can, and if you are a person that likes color, likes to play with color, go for it. Like, this is such a good palette to have in your collection. And if you have a neutral palette and this palette, I think you're good to go. Like, you just have everything possible. Some tips on how to use this palette, because like I said before, it can be intimidating. Either stick to one like color scheme so you can play with the purples and just have a nice plum purple eye, well, not purple eye, but like a nice purple eyeshadow, and just pair it with a nude lip. You can just play like with one entire color scheme. It's still a little risky, but it's not too crazy. Or my favorite way to do it is to just add a little pop of color in your everyday makeup. So if you have your neutral everyday eye, you can always amp it up a little bit and make it a little bit more fierce, and just add it to your bottom lash line. So you can do your nice warm brown eyeshadow and then add a little pop of color of Coral, this Seas shade, which is gorgeous. I think that is a very easy way to use it in your everyday makeup routine without it being too crazy. Another tip is, the best thing to make it more wearable is do whatever you want and pair it with a gloss or a nude lip. Something that is very similar to your skin tone or just a gloss. I do that constantly and it looks gorgeous. Also, I wanted to quickly mention, I got this palette at Sephora on sale. Here in Canada, it's still on sale on the webpage. It's $57 rather than the original price, which was like $80, I think. For me, that was pretty expensive because, I mean, I'm not working. But then when I saw it on discount, I was like, yes, I'll buy it for myself as a Christmas present, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got for myself. So if you're in Canada and you want this palette, definitely check it out on the Sephora website. And if you're in the States, I would try anyways. Maybe it's still on discount, you never know. I'm going to be using the orangey and a little bit of the pink shades. First, I'm going to apply a warm brown as a transition. Now for my crease, I'm going in with the shade Calavera, the yellow. And I'm adding a lot of this shade. I am really building it up. Now the shade C's, the coral one, on a Morphe M433 brush. This is a tapered blending brush. And I'm going to apply this more precise in the crease and the outer corner. But this one, I'm not going to bring it as high as the yellow. More towards the lid. Next, we're going in with Gossip, this hot pink, on a Morphe M507 brush. I'm going to start to create a very slight halo effect. So I'm placing this on the outer corner and the inner corner. Now on that same brush, I'm going back into C's to blend out the inner corner a little bit. Now for the very center of the lid, I'm going to use the shade Jones. This one is a bit sheer, so I'm just going to use setting spray to make it more intense. I'm lightly blending Jones into Gossip, but very gently. I still want it to be defined. Now for my bottom lash line, I am going to do the same halo effect, but I'm only going to use the shade C's and Jones. Then on a Morphe M562 brush, I'm going to blend it a little bit with the shade Calavera. For mascara, I'm using the Better Than Sex by Too Faced. Now for my waterline, I'm going to use this cream gel liner by Colourpop in the shade Punch. And then I'm going to set it with the shade Calavera. And I had forgotten to mention, but my lashes are Koko lashes in the style Goddess. Now for blush, I'm using Milani Luminoso. For a highlight, I'm going into the Ultimate Glow Kit by Anastasia, and I'm going to use the shade Sunrise. I'm using the same one for my inner corner. And for lips, I'm going to use the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London. So this is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and kind of saw a little bit of how I use it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the description box for all the info of my makeup that I'm using, my links, and also like this video if you did and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye bye. Now I'm grabbing the shades